Hong Kong has begun its inquest into the Manila hostage crisis to look into how each of the 8 victims were killed.
Not a single witness from the Philippines invited to testify is willing to come here, but some may give evidence through a video link. ATV's Ann Choy reports.
6 months after the bloody tragedy in the Philippines that shook Hong Kong, family members of the victims were at the High Court this morning to attend the coroner's inquest. This was the first day of the inquest into the deaths of 8 Hong Kong people who were gunned down on their tour bus in Manila. On the 23rd of August, a group of 20 local tourists and their tour guide were held hostage by sacked police officer Rolando Mendoza, who hijacked their tour bus in a desperate bid to get his job back. 6 of them were released in the early hours of the siege, but the other 15 were still on board when hostage negotiations broke down and Mendoza opened fire on his captives. Today, a 5-member jury was selected first to examine the cause and circumstances of each victim's death. 3 out of 20 witness statements, 18 of which were provided by Philippine authorities, were read out during the hearing today. In one of the statements given by Philippine tour guide Diana Chan, who was released by Mendoza, she said the gunman had indicated he would not hurt any of the hostages. 6 witnesses, who were all family members of those who were killed, also testified in court this morning. They were among the 34 Hong Kong residents, including ballistics experts from the police, a psychologist, and a first aid expert, who will provide and explain evidence. 4 of the 7 survivors in the bus siege are also expected to appear on the witness stand during the inquest. But that won't include 18-year-old Jason Leung, who is still in hospital, and his mother, Amy Leung. Her husband and 2 daughters were among the 8 who were shot dead in the bungled rescue attempt. A total of 116 witnesses from the Philippines had been invited to give evidence, but no one is attending the inquest, and many key witnesses, including the tour bus driver and Mendoza's younger brother, have refused to testify. However, the court heard some experts from the Philippines have expressed their wish to testify in court via video conferencing, although the exact number is still uncertain. The Philippine government has held its own investigation into the bus siege, and while some key officials were held responsible for bungling the rescue operation, President Benigno Aquino decided not to punish them, which is why Hong Kong wants to find the truth for itself. The Philippine investigation concluded that all those who died were shot by Mendoza, and the Hong Kong inquest will explore the possibility of anyone being killed by so-called friendly fire during the botched rescue attempt. The possibility of video conferencing is part of a number of special arrangements made for the inquest. The hearing has been moved from the Eastern Law Courts to the High Court to accommodate a larger audience. Coroner Michael Chan has specifically requested that bloody images of the incident should not be shown in court. Instead, lawyers will use digital 3D images, graphics, and a scale model of the tour bus and the park where the attack happened to explain their evidence. The hearing had been scheduled for 25 days, although it could be shortened because of the smaller number of witnesses. This is the beginning of Hong Kong's own attempt to establish the facts and seek closure on the Manila tragedy. There are still wounds to be healed, and for the city, the truth is crucial for that healing process. Ann Choy, ATV News.
The